Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as to Facebook and YouTube. So if you're joining from either place, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully I'll be able to address it all as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started with a look at our headlines. And again, tonight through the rest of this weekend and even into Monday, it's going to be very, very chilly. And tomorrow, we're going to remain mostly dry, but there is that chance as some of those clouds drop in from the north, especially through the first half of the day on Sunday. We could catch a few flurries, mainly to the north and east of the Evansville area. Not expecting really any accumulation out of that and very, very little impact. The bigger story here is going to be those colder temperatures, which I'll touch on in a moment because wind chill values are going to have a factor in this forecast. But once we get through this cold snap, we are going to warm back up into the 50s through the middle and end of next week. And it looks like we'll also have another chance for some widespread rainfall here Wednesday and into Thursday. But let's look at our Doppler radar. Earlier today, we started off our Saturday with a good amount of sunshine. A few clouds then began to stream in through the afternoon, and with that cloud cover, we did see a few light flakes and maybe even a few raindrops, just depending on where your location was, and then that pretty much moved on out of here very quickly. And then we saw that sunshine pop back out before it set for the evening, and we're going to remain mostly clear here overnight tonight. Here's a look at the future radar. So it's going to be clear here tonight into very early tomorrow morning before those clouds begin to stroll back in from the north. And you'll notice just off to the north and east there, we have a few of those flurries or light snow showers just barely clipping places like Du Bois County, Perry County, mainly areas off to the north and east of the Evansville area. You'll have better chances to get hit with some of those flakes as you head out towards Louisville and even east of there. That's actually all part of a trough that's going to be swinging in and digging in, and that's going to help fuel that massive nor'easter that's going to be taking aim on the northeast here Sunday and into Monday. But here in the tri-state, we remain relatively unscathed, thankfully. But it does look like tomorrow is just going to be a mostly cloudy day, maybe seeing those clouds begin to break up a touch overnight into Monday morning. But taking a look at our highs today, we warmed up into the upper 30s to lower 40s across the tri-state, 42 degrees in Evansville. Just to our south, though, a lot warmer, 54 down towards Bowling Green. Similar temperatures off to our west in St. Louis, 42, and a bit colder to the north there in Indianapolis. And looking at the regional view here and comparing those highs to what's normal, we're actually running below average, which is something we haven't really had in a while here. We've been running well above average with these very long warm spells we've been having. So we're running anywhere between 5 to 10 degrees colder than where we should be, and in comparison to just 24 hours ago, also anywhere between 5 to 10 degrees colder than this time yesterday. So this air is going to continue to cool down through the rest of this weekend and into the start of the work week before we finally see that warm up. And right now, most of us are hovering right around freezing. 32 degrees here in Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh, and Owensboro. A bit warmer to the south, 34 in Greenville and Dundee, and 30 up towards Oakland City. Looking at the next 12 hours, we'll drop back down into the low to mid 20s overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, and you'll notice that increase in cloud cover through the first half of the day on Sunday especially. But again, the bigger story here is going to be the cold. We're looking at temperatures only topping out in the lower 30s again for tomorrow afternoon. However, we are going to start to feel the winds pick up out of the northwest, and they'll be gusting anywhere between 25 to even up to 30 miles per hour tomorrow morning, especially before they start to calm back down headed into tomorrow night. So those cooler temperatures combined with those stronger wind gusts, it's going to make it feel like we're going to be in the teens all day long, even into the lower teens as you're waking up early tomorrow morning. So if you're going to be headed out to church or getting early grocery run in, you want to make sure you're bundled up with multiple layers and you still have that winter jacket handy. I know a lot of us probably threw that in the closet and said forget it because temperatures have been in the 60s and even 70s. I mean, it was just 72 degrees there on Thursday, but you definitely want to still be on guard. Winter isn't over yet. We still got about a month left, so you want to keep things handy because in these instances we do get these frequent little cold snaps that continue to move in here through the end of winter. But It gets even colder, especially by the time we get into Sunday night and into early Monday morning. It looks like those wind chill values will possibly be down in the single digits. So waking up, headed to school or work, you definitely need to have multiple layers and you want to be as bundled up as possible. Thankfully, it is short-lived. We do warm back up through next week, and the Climate Prediction Center continues to paint much of the country in above average temperatures here through the end of the month and into the start of March. So taking a look at our temperature trend here, our average highs are usually bouncing around in the upper 40s, 49 degrees. We are going to be well below that here through the rest of the weekend and into the start of the work week. We'll pop up close to average by the time we get into Tuesday. Winds will start to come up out of the south, so that's really going to help us warm back up, and we'll pop up above average into the upper 50s by the time we get into Wednesday. And then we're expecting another system to move in here, and that's going to bring us our next best chance for widespread rainfall there Wednesday night and into Thursday. And then behind that system, it looks like temperatures continue to climb, at least up into the mid 50s and possibly even nearly 60 degrees for the start of next weekend. But I do want to take a closer look at some of those rain chances there. Again, we have the chance for a few flurries tomorrow, mainly north and east of the Evansville area, but most of us stay dry. Wednesday into Thursday is where the best chance for widespread precipitation moves in. So here's a look at the models here. We'll have a warm front lift up here through Wednesday evening, and most of that rain begins to fall overnight into Thursday afternoon before tapering off headed into Thursday night. And then a nice area of high pressure builds in for the end of the work week. So we'll see a full-on return of that sunshine for our Friday as temperatures continue to warm up. So already eyeing up Friday for the pick of the week if you're going to be doing anything outside. But I do want to take a look at our rainfall amounts here through the end of the work week. We are expecting a good dose of rain with this system if everything remains on track. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of shifting with the track here over the next week or so. But we're expecting anywhere between 1/4 of an inch up to an inch of rainfall, depending on where you are. It looks like most of the rain seems to fall over portions of western Kentucky, which is good news because we are still abnormally dry in some places, and even areas in southern Illinois still have actual drought conditions through the winter, which you may be thinking to yourself, how is this possible? We've had so much snow, but the snowfall doesn't actually contain a lot of water within it. So as it melts, it doesn't equal a lot of liquid equivalent precipitation. So we're actually running a bit below average here for the winter. And actually in areas like Paducah, they're looking at potentially one of the driest winters that they've had. So we'll take the rainfall, and as of right now, it doesn't look too menacing. We're not expecting any thunderstorms or severe weather with it, but obviously we're going to keep an eye on it. Instability at this time, really, really low or even non-existent, and our dew points are down in the lower 50s. So with those two things already out of the mix, at this point in time, we're not expecting anything crazy. We're just expecting some widespread rain there. But taking a look at your next 7 days, just to kind of wrap it up in a little bow for you here, still very cold through the rest of this weekend, topping out in the 30s, lower 30s tomorrow, bottoming out in the teens Sunday night into Monday morning, and with those winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour into Monday morning, it's going to feel like we're going to be down into the single digits. So please remember to layer up, but it doesn't last too long. We warm right back up through the middle of the work week, topping out at around average for Tuesday into the mid 40s and then into the upper 50s, so maybe even nearly 60 degrees in a few spots for Wednesday. And that's going to be out ahead of that rainmaker moving in Wednesday evening into Thursday, but it doesn't cool us down all that much through the end of the work week, topping out in the mid to upper 50s, maybe even nearly 60 by the time we get into Saturday. So let me go ahead and take a look at some questions for you. Good evening to you, Cheyenne. Thanks for watching. Good evening, Suzanne. Ryan says, go away cold. I'm with you. I'm ready for spring. These little warm teases, I hate when they go away. I like when we just continue to warm up here. So Teresa says, good evening. Good evening to you. Laura is watching from Dawson Springs. Zach is asking about severe weather. We're not expecting it at this time, but of course we'll continue to monitor it for any changes. William says it was sleeting pretty good earlier today in Bowling Green. Went to the model train sale there today. That's awesome. Then thank you for that report. Donna says, wow. Ryan says, great. That's just great for the joints. Yeah. The switch between hot and cold never feels that great. And it definitely doesn't make you feel the best in terms of, sicknesses and stuff like that. Yeah, Ryan is not happy with he's putting some throw up emojis in there as well. Tori is not ready for spring because she said spring brings severe weather, so she is not ready. And I agree with that too. I will take the spring temperatures, just not the spring tornadoes. And I think most of us agree with that. But that is all the questions that I'm seeing here. So I am going to hop off the live stream. I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe and stay warm this weekend. Please remember to bundle up as you head out tomorrow or even out the door early Monday morning. So I'll see you again at 10.